I don't want this thing to go hot. Grand afternoon, living through your vision. Hello, everyone. How's everyone? Happy Friday. I hope that everyone is having an amazing day thus far. Wow. First and foremost, I want to say that this year has, I don't know. I was just telling my daughter, I was saying to her, I said, this year has really flown by extremely fast, because I remember, moving to this department and where I'm working, and I still look at the codes like I'm brand new. And I've been in that department for almost a year. And I'm like, wow, why do I feel like, I'm just starting, in this department when I've actually been there for an entire year. But, time, I'm starting, as I grow and mature in my spiritual growth and my understanding, of our existence and different things of that nature, time, is definitely an illusion. I do find myself, not even remembering what day of the week it is sometimes, because my perception of time has changed. But nevertheless, it has really moved. Time has really moved in such a rapid rate. I can remember that it was just January yesterday. It was just January yesterday, and now we all the way, at the end of the year, going towards the 365th day of the year. But, it has been a beautiful experience, and, I've grown a lot in so many different ways. And I hope that you guys can, recognize your own personal growth, because I think that is important. That is important in the evolution of us, that we recognize, how much we've grown in our time, in our space that we're given. So, that's, kudos to growth, y'all. Kudos to growth. But what I want to talk about, and I'm going to be real brief, with this particular live, I want to talk about alignment, and I want to talk about perception. I put up a couple of posts in the group, to give you an idea that perception is basically everything. Your perception is what, is what carries you. A lot of us are being held hostage by our belief systems, and it's our own free will that, is controlling the show of that. And it gives us, it puts us in a place of stagnation, where a lot of times we're unable to grow, because our belief systems and different things and our perception of things is holding us hostage. So sometimes, our soul is unable to move, at a rate because of our free will, having certain belief systems, and our belief system sometimes, holds us hostage. But, I wanted to say that, if we start changing the perception of how we see things, then it's a game-changing event when we do that, because at the end of the day, perception is everything. How you perceive things is going to lead into how you believe things, and your beliefs is ultimately what navigates your life. And then now as you grow and mature spiritually, and you get more spiritual than, more so than into your physical existence, you then start to understand that the things that you believe in kind of either makes it fluid in terms of the growth of your spirit, the evolution of your spirit, or it makes it stagnant, right? So then you start looking at yourself, what serves me purpose, what doesn't serve me purpose, what is the truth of me. Those things start to become more imperative of understanding, because you realize that certain things is either making you move forward, propelling you, or it's holding you back. So this is why I put those posts out there, so that we once again can start to reevaluate what we believe in, what is working for us, and what is, and not necessarily for us in the material world, in this three-dimensional sense of understanding, but what is working for us in the evolution of our spiritual growth, because ultimately you are you are a spiritual being having a human experience. So therefore, in all respect, your spiritual self has more of a precedence than your human experience, the human side of you. So you want to evolve. That is the purpose of, in my opinion, all of this is based on my opinion. That is the purpose of why we're here. So when you get into the mindset of looking at things from a different set of eyes, and not looking at things in terms of, happening to you, but happening for you. What is this happening? What is the reason why this is happening to me in regards to what is it going to do for me? What is the purpose that is designed for me, for the evolution of me? And another thing too, I wanted to kind of throw out there is that the Book of Enoch in the Bible, the book that was actually taken out of the Bible, the Book of Enoch relatively deals with, and I say relatively, for this dimensional, this human experience, it deals with the astrological stance of our existence. And I think many of us have heard, if we've not experienced, but we've at least heard that, the date, the time, and the date and the time and the location where you were born is very significant to the cultivation of who you are from an astrological perspective, from the astronomy perspective. And the Book of Enoch in the Bible dealt with a lot of that, you understand? And they took it out because it was very, it was very, very powerful information. The person that wrote the Book of Enoch was at a vibration that was extremely high. So that's why the information was either misunderstood or just, people could not reach that vibrational level to get, the correct clarity of what the information really truly presented. And then for those who probably knew what it was and knew that it had some significance to certain things, and they were low vibrational, but they did have some sense of intelligence to certain things, kept it away because of the power that it presented in its understanding. If people were to really understand it, it opens up a new sense of understanding that promotes spiritual growth and promotes a real sense of understanding even in our human experience. But I'm just going to leave you with, and some examples of, how the astrological aspect of your existence plays a very vital and critical role of how we move and how we do things. And one example I said, of course, we've heard that the time, date, and location of your birth is very imperative to who you are and the cultivation of your experiences. That's number one. But more importantly, a lot of times we tend to, if you seek outside of certain things, you'll understand it from a different set of eyes. And I was telling my daughter, I said, a lot of times we look at certain things and we wonder why we get certain jobs at certain places, McDonald's, Wawa, Starbucks, or, all of these places that, in this human experience, in this 3D sense of understanding, this third dimensional understanding, you'll look at that and say, oh, well, these are low paying jobs and all this other kind of things. But if you look at it from a different perspective, a different set of eyes, and say, okay, from an astrological perspective, I'm in this location at this specific time for this specific reason, because astrologically, I'm supposed to be in alignment with something that is supposed to cross my path that is going to assist me in my evolution to be able for me to be able to whatever it is that I come here to do, manifest things, higher calling or whatever the case may be. It's in place for those things to happen. So when you start looking at your place of residence or your place of where your location at your job, from an astrological perception, meaning time, date, location, different things of that nature, what time and date the moons are aligned, the stars are in order, and all this other kind of stuff, if you start looking at it from that perspective, that paints an entirely different picture than a lower vibrational sense of understanding that we've been taught to understand things in. It changes the game in that respect. So now, in my growth, in my evolution growth, I'm learning like coordinances, and the where I'm at, the point of reference to where I'm at. What was that in alignment with from an astrological perspective? Because I'm growing out of a three-dimensional sense of understanding, of material sense of understanding, and I'm evolving spiritually. Now I understand things from a totally different perspective, which will definitely enhance my human experience. And that's ultimately, in my opinion, I think that's the beauty of our experience here. Because, contrary to popular belief, we are not here to suffer. We are not here to suffer. We're here to have our experiences, but we're also here to have an understanding that we are in control of ourselves, and nobody can do anything to us that we don't allow, that we don't, mind, body, and spiritually, in our minds, and it's definitely in our minds and our spirits, that we don't allow. So, once you get that understanding, that changes the game. It changes your experience in life. It moves you in a different direction. And you have, in my opinion, and based off of my experiences, you have better experiences. My spiritual awakening is off the chain. That's all I can say. It is off the chain. And I'm very much appreciative of the experiences, because it has brought such sense of clarity, but most importantly, such sense of peace. Like it is such a peaceful experience that I'm having, and I'm very grateful and I'm very thankful for the experience. But these are just some of the jewels that I'm dropping that you guys can probably consider. And like I say, this information is not going to be for everybody right now, but in perfect timing, when a person is ready to understand this, you're gonna be like, what, that girl, I used to think she was crazy, but now I get it, now I understand. And and for those who already do understand it, it's just another path of your evolution, of your evolutionary growth in the spirit, in your spiritual growth. So and that's just how simple it is. It's nothing complicated or complex about it. I oftentimes hear people talk about life being complicated, being this and being that and stuff like that. And, I'm not going to say that there's no truth in it, but there's only truth in it if you believe it to be that way. Because whatever it is that you're supposed to know, you will know. And when it's time for you to know, you'll know it. And there's nothing complex about that. It's only when you force the grain, that's when things become a little bit more challenging. But if you just be the truth of who you are, and you maintain a resonance of high vibration, and ask and it shall be given, seek and you shall find. If you understand the true significance of those energies in terms of what those statements really mean, then it really truly does change the game. I'm always going to tell y'all now, from every opportunity that I get to do a live, a video, or whatever the case may be, everything is energy, everything is vibration, everything is resonance. And when you understand it from that perspective, it changes the game. It changes your entire experience and how you look at people, life, how you look at situations, circumstances, all of that. It changes the game. And that's something that Tesla said. He stated that, and people kind of like allowed that to kind of like fly over their head, because they thought that he was crazy. But now his technology and his intelligence has created cars that now drive itself, so he wasn't that crazy after all. There was a lot of truth to what he was saying. So peace and love, everybody. I'm dropping a lot here. I'm dropping alignment, the true significance of what alignment means in terms of an astrological sense of understanding that's relative to your spiritual growth. I'm talking about perception, looking at situations. It's not happening to you, it's happening for you, so that you can grow, so that you can evolve, so that you can heal, so that you can promote healing. All of these things, knowing these things really does change the life. These things are not taught to us. These things come from an inner knowing. And you now have to make the decision is if you're going to believe things that are outside of you, or you're going to believe things that are inside of you. And what's holding you hostage is your belief system, especially if your belief systems are a thing that goes against the truth of who you are. It will keep you stagnant. It will keep you stagnant. You know, your perception of things that goes against the truth of who you are, it will keep you stagnant, because the thing that we are laud upon in our human experience is our free will. And our free will determine the fluidity of our life or the stagnation of our life. And it matriculates on down to the, belief systems and perceptions and different things of that nature. So as long as we kind of somewhat understand it from that perspective, it changes the game for you. It really, truly does. So anyway, with that being said, I'm going to end here. Peace and love, everybody. It's a beautiful day in Zamunda. I love living in South Florida. I love, these are the days that I can truly, truly appreciate. Beautiful indeed. And I hope you guys are having, no matter where you are, I hope you guys are having an amazing, amazing day. And if you have any questions regarding this, regarding this video, ask the questions, because, in this is human experience. Each one teaches one. And at first I used to feel a little bit apprehensive about putting out this information, because, I didn't want nobody to deem me as being crazy or whatever. But now I'm at a point where I don't really care about that, because I know it's coming from a source. It's coming from a place of purity. And for whoever or whomever it is for, it will resonate with them. I can't worry about, those who may think differently, because whoever it's for, it will resonate. So that's why I continue to do what I do. But one thing I will say is that there's a peace in all of this. There's a peace in all of this. And like I say, at first people wanted to dismiss the Bible and said the Bible is this and that. The Bible has a purpose. And Christ consciousness has a purpose. Everything has a purpose. And when you start understanding the Christ consciousness, when you start understanding the messages and the allegorical messages that are in the Bible, once you start raising your vibration, different things of that nature, everything starts to become cohesive. You start to understand things. You start to really, truly understand things. And you realize that there's no hate, there's no animosity, there's no discord, there's none of those things that are a part of this knowing. There's just none of those things, because you realize that they all have their place into the interconnectedness of our human experiences. It really does. It's a beautiful thing. So anyway, I'm going to end here. So peace and love, everybody. And I shall commence. I'm going to drink my Starbucks and eat my banana nut bread. And I shall commence talking with you guys later. All right. Love you guys. Bye.